Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with another weekly reading vlog. Super exciting. Today is the 2nd of February, so happy Groundhog Day to everybody. Groundhog's Day is one of my favorite movies. I just adore that movie. I haven't watched it in years, but I feel the need to rewatch it. Every time Groundhog Day rolls around, I always think, I want to rewatch that movie. It is a favorite of mine when he's out with the groundhog and he's like, don't drive angry. I just absolutely love that. So I did hear that Wyerton Willie saw his shadow or didn't see his shadow. Regardless, he predicted an early spring. I'm calling BS on that based on the snow that we got this morning. It's going to be another 6 weeks of winter, let's be honest. So I think the two that are in the U.S., there's two groundhogs in the U.S., and they both predicted an early spring. But we have a groundhog in Nova Scotia. I can't remember his name. If I can find it, I'll put a picture or something up here or put his name down. But I think that he predicted not an early spring, which, you know, is probably the case because Nova Scotia last week or the week before got, I mean, a ridiculous amount of snow, like feet. They were, you know, measuring it in feet of snow. They got nailed with snow. So they're going to be another 6 weeks just waiting for all that to melt. So yeah, so it is Groundhog Day. It's the 2nd of February. It's about 8:30 at night. I've got Goran laying here beside me on the couch. We are going to watch some BookTube and do some reading. But I just thought I'd pop on and start the vlog, of course. So, as per usual, last week's vlog was long. And I'm not going to apologize for that because I know a lot of you love it. But I am going to do my very best to try and keep them shorter. Now, I do say that, but, you know, let's be honest, whether that actually happens or not, I never know until I start editing these things. Because I thought for sure that last week's was going to be shorter. I was missing a day for one when I was in hospital. But yeah, so it didn't. So what I'm going to do, and I thought about this last week, like when I was editing the vlog for last week, to actually do this, but I hadn't told you guys, so I didn't bother doing it. But what I'm going to do going forward is I am going to timestamp in the description box below, just like I used to do for my weekly reviews, and timestamp where the review is for when I finish a book. So of course I will be talking about the books throughout the week, like I'm currently reading this book, and these are my thoughts on it. But I do a actual like wrap up or a little mini review of the book at the end, like when I finish it. So I will timestamp that portion in the video for each individual book that I finish. So that way, if that's all you guys care to come here to see, that's absolutely cool and I get it. So you can go ahead and just click your way through the timestamps and listen to what you want to, you know, what you want to listen to the reviews essentially. So yeah, I don't know what Goran's trying to look at, but he's like super excited about my little setup here that I have going on my table, just so I can be hands-free. Just because to hold the camera for too long, it bothers my hand. So the other thing I kind of thought would be fun to try is to kind of give you guys a snapshot of what I am looking to read this week. Kind of like, you know, my reading goals for the week, essentially. And the books that I want to finish, because I have a lot of books on my February TBR. I have a lot of books on my TBR every month anyway. But I thought by like kind of holding myself accountable and letting you guys know this is what I would like to finish this week, then, you know, maybe I actually will make sure that I do get to it. So we're going to start off with the audiobooks that I'd like to listen to this week. Right now, I am halfway through I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella. So obviously I want to get this one done. It is fantastic, you guys. I am absolutely loving it. It's utterly delightful. It's about a woman named Fixie. It's actually Fritzy, I think is her name, but everybody calls her Fixie because she likes to fix all the things. Like, you know, if something is out of place, like in one scene she's in this guy's office and one of the vases is just slightly out of alignment, so she like has to push it back because if not, she's actually like, she has a compulsion issue and she needs to do that, right? So so that's why they call her Fixie. And anyway, towards the beginning of the book, she ends up saving this guy's laptop from certain destruction, and then he kind of does an I owe you one. So the entire book is them going back and forth with each other, owing each other favors. And it's really, really cute, and I'm really enjoying it. The audio version of it is fantastic. So yeah, this one I am thoroughly enjoying, and I'm hoping to get it done in the next few days. The other audiobook that I want to start and finish this week, and when I say this week, I mean by Saturday night, is The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. I know that this one, I believe this is a thriller slash ghost story kind of an idea. I have the author's other book, her newer book that just came out this month, as an advance copy to read on as an ebook that I'll be reading later this month. So I wanted to read this one first. And one of you lovely viewers of mine did point out that The Broken Girls was not the author's first work. She has written like paranormal stuff before, but I think this is her first big work that a lot of people were familiar with, kind of an idea. So yeah, I've got this one out from the library on Overdrive. So I've got to get it listened to this week before it ends up expiring on me, and someone is waiting for it. I love how that pops up in Libby saying, one person waiting, or however many people waiting. And I know what it's like waiting for something to come in anyway, so I want to get it read so I can return it early so that person can read it. So as for my print and ebooks for this week, I am only about 60 pages of the way through I Found You by Lisa Jewell. I didn't get a lot of this read today. This is my goal for the rest of the evening, this is my spot, plopped on the couch, reading BookTube, maybe doing a little bit of knitting. I have a couple hours before I have to go to bed, so yeah. So I want to get a good chunk of this read. I can read relatively quickly. I'm hoping to finish at least 100-ish pages tonight, so we shall see. I don't want to say too much about what this book is about because it is a thriller, and I feel that these are best gone into not knowing much about them. I'm gonna say, can I even say anything? Yeah, you know what? I don't want to say anything about this one at all. I'm sorry. I know that's being super duper vague, and when I do my review for it, it's going to be super vague as well. But I think that's the best way to read a thriller, is to not know. I can tell you it is about a man who's got amnesia and a woman whose husband has gone missing, and something that happened like 20 some odd years ago. So that's all I really know. That's all I really want to tell you guys about this story so far. I also plan on, so this one I plan on, of course, finishing in the next few days. The next one that I want to start and finish this week is The Third to Die by Alison Brennan. This is a e-arc that I have from the publisher. And again, I don't know much about what this one is about. I'm familiar with the author. I think I've read her before, but it's been quite some time. It's being billed as a romantic suspense novel, and I am super excited about it. It looks like it's going to be really, really good. And, you know, here I am reading, the Sophie Kinsella is a chick lit, but other than that, I'm reading thrillers and romantic suspense. I'm going to need a contemporary this week. So I actually have a couple contemporaries. So the other one, excuse me, I've got the hiccups, that I want to start and finish is going to be The Corner of Forever and Always by Leah Riley. This is one of the library books that I picked up, and I'm super excited about starting it. I think it's going to be absolutely delightful. You know, it's a contemporary romance. What more do I need to know about that? And the last book, I don't know if I'm going to get it done this week. I still need to talk to Rainey and see, because I know we're going to try and read it over 5 days, but I might ask if she can hold off for a little bit on it till like mid to late this week, and maybe start it on Thursday or Friday or something like that, because with the new job, I don't want to overwhelm myself too much. So we are going to be starting the Bromance Book Club by, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Larissa? Is that her name? Something Ryan? I'm so sorry, I can't remember the author's name. There, of course, will be a picture of it up here. But this is one of her first, I think. She's dipping her toes into the romance genre, and I love the fact that she's letting me join her in this pursuit, because this book I haven't read either, but I have the sequel from the publisher to read in March as an e-arc. So I want to get to the first one first, so I have some background on the story. So yeah, so that is about all that I have for you guys tonight. That's kind of my reading plans for the week, and I just thought it'd be kind of fun to start the vlogs this way, to share with you guys what's going to be coming up this week on the vlog, what kind of books I'm going to be reading. I am, of course, reading a book from my Harlequin shelf as well as a what I call my Back to My Childhood book. It's a Sweet Valley High book this week. So those I'll touch on as the week goes on, as I get some read in those. But I'm not going to mention them in this part in my reading plans, because they're a little bit less constraint. Not that, you know, oh my gosh, I have to finish all these books this month. But these are my TBR books, and these do hold priority over anything else, to be honest. So the other ones are just kind of like a chapter a day, kind of an idea. So yeah. But anyway, that's it. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Hi guys, happy Monday. It is the 3rd of February, and it is about 8:30 at night. I am just making a cup of tea, of my mother's little helper tea that I have to help me get some sleep tonight. Because I'm exhausted, so I probably could sleep very easily, but I thought a little bit of extra help might be good. I didn't sleep that great last night, no surprise, because it was the night before I was starting my new job. So I was nervous and excited and all those things. My new job went really well today. I really, really like the company. I like the office. The people seem super nice. So yeah, a lot of positives, and I think it's going to be a really great fit for me. And I'm super excited to really dive in a bit more. I mean, of course, right now I am mostly doing, I'll be doing training pretty much for the next few weeks. So I'm actually coming in about a half an hour earlier than I would normally start, just for the next few weeks, just so my new manager and I can do some training together before everybody else comes into the office, which it's kind of a super great idea. But yeah, so that is that. I don't want to waffle too much on stuff here. I want to try and keep it mostly about the books, but I know you guys like hearing about what's kind of going on personally. So, and I do enjoy sharing it with you guys. So that is that. My plan tonight had been, ow, sorry, I've got a cramp. My plan tonight had been to come home and film a video that was going to go up on Tuesday, but I am just too wiped out. I mean, this afternoon I was like, my eyes were starting to like get heavy, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm ready for a nap. That's what happens when you've been off work for a week and you've been able to indulge in an afternoon nap. So yeah, I didn't get that done. By the time I came home, I had to make dinner, and I had planned on making spaghetti sauce last night, and I didn't, so I made it tonight, and that takes some time. And I just thought I wasn't feeling sitting down to film a video tonight. So, I mean, this is different. This is just quick and easy. You know what I mean? I can just set up the camera and sit here and talk to you guys. I don't have to put a lot of extra thought into it, because not that my other videos are scripted, but I definitely take notes and make notes for stuff to talk about. But here it's just kind of very off the cuff and, just chatty, which is what I love doing. So I'm hoping maybe tomorrow, if I don't get videos done this week, I apologize. I will get something up for, I'll do something next on the weekend. I know one of my viewers was asking me about the fact I didn't do an anticipated reads, Harlequin anticipated reads or regular anticipated reads last month. Well, obviously I did like a couple weeks without videos because of Dad. I just really wasn't up to filming anything, so I apologize. I know a lot of you guys look forward to those, but circumstance and life happens. They will get done in February, I promise. But yeah, so anyway, reading update. That's, like I said, I wanted to keep it about the reading. So I have a really nice drive into work now. It's not so much, not that I was driving on the highway, but it's not so much city congestion because I head a bit further north than where I live. So it's kind of nice. There's the one route, as long as the weather's nice and there's no snow or rain, or it's not dark out. Like by the time I leave now, it's light out again, which is great. There is a route that takes me through some back road that kind of goes around the Toronto Zoo, and it's a really, really nice drive, more like country drive. So that's definitely the route I'll be taking. Like I said, if the roads and the weather conditions work out, it's not a route I'd want to take in the dark or in snow. But in general, I can do that. And it was, you get stuck in a little bit of traffic, but I really don't mind that because I have my audiobook. So that being said, I am 75% of the way through I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella. I'm still really, really enjoying it. And yeah, I don't really have many more thoughts to say on it from the last little bit that I've said. But I will get that one done tomorrow. So tomorrow night there will be my full review of that book. The other one, my plan for the rest of this evening, is to sit and get about another 100 pages read of I Found You by Lisa Jewell. So I'm about that far. My goal is to get to that first tab by the time I go to bed. So what did I say it was? It was about 8:30. I go to bed about 10 o'clock, so I've got about an hour and a half. And I can definitely get through that in about an hour and a half because I am a relatively quick reader. And the great thing about her books is they read very quickly too, because the chapters are super duper short. Like, this next one is only like 3 pages long or 4 pages long. So, you know, it's like, I call it potato chip reading, where, you know, just read one more chapter. I'll just read one more chapter. Like eating potato chips. I'll just eat one more potato chip. I'll just eat one more potato chip. So, so yeah, again, I don't want to say too much about this one. I talked about it very briefly yesterday. Again, it's a thriller. I would like to get this one done tomorrow. We shall see. I do have a little bit of reading time at work. I do have an office at work. Well, office/supply closet. But that's fine. There is a door, so that's what matters to me. And talking to one of the women I'm working with, I at lunchtime I asked, you know, because every office is different. I'm like, can you eat at your desk? And she's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And she's like, a lot of people will do that if they don't want to be bothered. They'll go in and close their door and have their half-an-hour lunch. And I thought, great, I can go in, have my lunch, read my book, and, you know, not be bothered. So, because I do like that half an hour of me time during the day, especially at work, when, you know, you've got coworkers and stuff going on. So yeah, so I did get a little bit of this read today at lunch, but I will definitely get, like I said, I'd like to finish this one tomorrow, but we shall see. So yeah, still really enjoying this. So the other 2 books that I'm currently reading, because as you guys know, I have multiple books going at a time, I haven't talked about yet in this vlog. I'm just going to mention them briefly. I'm not going to talk about them every day because I'm only reading like a chapter or 2, excuse me, I've got the hiccups, every day. Oh, pardon me. And there's no sense in me talking about them every day. So the first one is the one from my Harlequin shelf, and that is Secret Child Royal Scandal by, oh, who's the author? Sorry, I have it on my Kindle here. Bear with. I didn't realize I had a copy on my Kindle. I can't tell you the number of times that I've done that. That's why I'm glad I've now got everything actually cataloged on Goodreads, that I have bought books that I already have on my Kindle. But in reality, and I've said it before, this is not just, you know, books for me to read. This is also my collection. So even if I've read them, I will still often buy a copy if it's cheap enough. Like, I'm not going to pay full price for a book I've already read. But if I'm like at the thrift store and they're 99 cents, then yes, I will pick it up even if it's a book I've already read. So Cat Shield is the author. And this is, I believe, the 3rd book in a series. I'm not absolutely certain what the series is. The cover will have been up here, you guys, so you will have seen it. And essentially what it's about is Natalie and Christian, who are our couple, and he is the crown prince to a small fake European country, not unlike the UK. And he was 3rd in line for the throne, but the first 2 books followed his brothers. And one married, I think, a divorcee, which made his kids null and void for taking over, like, the throne. And then the other one married an American woman, same thing. It became null and void for taking over the throne. And now it's, like, up to him as the youngest brother. And he was the playboy. Like, he never thought that this would fall on him, that this would now be his, that he's got to produce an heir. To keep essentially the throne in the family, or the, you know, the monarchy within the family. And he had a relationship with Natalie 5 years ago, and they was like a friends with benefits, and then they broke up, and lo and behold, he didn't know she was pregnant. So now the little boy is like 4 years old, or 4.5, or however old he is, and Christian has found out that he's got a son. Natalie had ended up moving away from this small fake European country, and and had her son, and then now has come back because her stepfather, her mother's husband, passed away. So she's back in the country to kind of look after her mom and stuff like that. And so now Christian is trying to win back Natalie in order to get, you know, he says it's also because of her, but obviously it's, you know, he wants the boy, like, you know, he needs the son. So, you know, that'll kind of be the premise of this book. And the last one that I'm reading is what I like to call my Back to My Childhood book, and it's Power Play by Francine Pascal, book 4, I think, in the Sweet Valley High series. Every time I start one of these and I start reading it, I'm thinking, oh gosh, why am I rereading through this series? It is so bad. It's like a train wreck. like, you know, you can't turn away kind of an idea. But then I get into them and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying this. As bad as they are, I'm enjoying it. So in this story, both Elizabeth and Jessica belong to a sorority at Sweet Valley High. I have never heard of a high school having a sorority in my life except for in Sweet Valley. And one of the girls in school wants to join, and she, throughout the entire book, is considered to be chubby. She is made fun of. There's a lot of fat shaming in this book. This book was written in the early 80s. Not that I'm forgiving it for that, but you got to remember it was a different time. But I think even though it, like I said, it was the 80s, I still think that a lot of people would have considered it problematic even back then with the amount of fat shaming. So that bit of it's disappointing, and, you know, but it is what it is. I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's kind of a fun throwback to my childhood. So yeah, so Robin, who is the overweight girl, wants to join the sorority, and of course the major girls in the sorority, like Jessica and her friend Lila, don't want her to join because she'd ruined the image of it. And of course Elizabeth's like, yeah, but she's super sweet, you know, so why can't you let her join, kind of an idea. So that's the premise of the story. Again, I'm only reading about 1 or 2 chapters of these last 2 books a night, and you know, it's the Sweet Valley High one, especially with that one, and the rest of the Back to My Childhood books are the ones I read in bed just before I go to sleep, because they are super light, not a lot of thought into them. Like, I'm not going to pick up something like this right before I go to bed, because this is going to be like, oh, must read, must continue reading. Oh, look, it's 3 a.m. and I didn't get enough sleep. So yeah, so anyway guys, that is today's update. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is Tuesday, February the 4th, and it's about 9:15 at night, and I am exhausted. As soon as I'm done filming this, I am going to bed. Did not sleep well last night. I think I said yesterday that I was exhausted as well. And I went to bed about 10 o'clock and I could not fall asleep. It was about 11:15, I think was the last time I looked at the clock. And then I woke up about 4:15 this morning and I could not fall back asleep. So yeah, I was at work today struggling to stay awake. Plus I'm trying to learn all kinds of new things at my new job. So that didn't work out so well, because when you're tired, your brain just can't retain information as well as it could. I think part of the reason I'm tired as well, I mean, not only am I not sleeping well for whatever reason, I don't know why I didn't sleep well last night. Hopefully tonight will be much better. But, you know, it's that I am trying to learn all these things, and I'm trying to get everything down. And also there's really, I'm shadowing people, so there's not a lot for me to actually be doing. Like, I'm taking notes and stuff like that, but it's not the same as actually doing something yourself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but I am enjoying the job so far. It's the interesting thing about this company is that, unlike other companies that I've worked for, there's no, like, yeah, people have their set jobs, but it's not like I am customer service and somebody else's payroll, or somebody else's HR and somebody's accounts payable. Everybody seems to wear a lot of different hats within the company, because there are so few people in the office. There's a lot of people in the plant, but very few people in the actual office. And, you know, it's interesting and different to me. And, you know, it's just not something that I'm used to in a corporate business environment. But obviously it works for this company. They've been around for like over 40 years. So, you know, they're not new. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So anyway, enough rambling. Let me talk about the 2 books that I finished today, you guys. 2 books. Oh, before I get into that, yes, Garrett's home if you saw the shadow walk past in front of me. It's his Saturday today. I did end up changing a few things around. When I got home tonight, or this morning when I got up, excuse me, see, I'm so tired I don't even know when I'm doing anything anymore. I was looking at my TBR, and I have a lot of books on there, and I just find that, like, last year I was flying through books, like absolutely flying through books, and I'm just not this year, and I think it's more quality over quantity. So, you know, that's a good thing. So I removed some books from my TBR for this month. Next month it's going to be different than it was this month. I think the only thing I'm really going to focus on going forward are going to be, you know, a handful of review books to get through them, as I have been doing, or as I did in February, or for my TBR this month, I should say. And then the rest are pretty much going to be, what do I feel like reading? I'm finding, I'm more and more starting not to become a mood reader, because I want to read what's on my TBR shelf on Goodreads, my want to read shelf on Goodreads. These are books that I purchased that I really need to get to. So I might try and mark just to kind of randomize and just pick some random books off that list. Oh, and I'm still going to be doing my Stacking the Series challenge as well, of course. But I did lower my Goodreads goal. I was originally going to go for 300 books this year, which would have put me at 25 books a month. But now I'm going to go for 240 books this year, which puts me about 20 books a month, which is absolutely doable for me. When I look at everything that I can get through, I can get through about 3 or 4 books a week. Over 4 weeks, 4, 8, that's 16, maybe a little bit more than that. So, I think that that's manageable, for me. So yeah, I'm more comfortable. I don't feel pressure, and because you never want your reading to feel like pressure. So as I've been sitting here waffling, let me again tell you about the 2 books that I finished today. So first of all, on my way home from work, I finished listening to I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella. And I've talked about this before, that, what one person considers to be a 5-star review, somebody else might consider the book to only be a 3 or a 3.5-star review. And I ended up giving this book 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. I said it when I started reading this book, that it's one of those books that I just felt the universe needed me to read at this point in time. The actual plot of the story was super cute. And I've mentioned what it is before, about a guy and a girl named, her name's Fixie, and his name is Seb, or Sebastian, and how the two of them kind of go back and forth over the course of many, many months doing an IOU, kind of an idea, where she rescues his laptop, and then he wants to pay her back, so he gives her friend a job, and then she helps him another way, and then he owes her again, so it's back and forth, back and forth. But along with that is also the story of Fixie herself, and how she learned to stand up for her family, or stand up to her family, excuse me, while running her family shop and things like that. I mean, it's a really interesting storyline, and if I just based my review off of that and the characters and the writing and things like that, this would have definitely been a 4-star read. But what pushed it to a 5, and again, it was right book at the right time for me. If I read this book tail end of last year, I probably would have given it a 4-star. But in this story, Fixie, our main character, lost her dad 9 years earlier. Now that's quite a bit longer, than, when I lost Dad just a few weeks ago. But what I really loved about the story, and what really resonated with me throughout the entire thing, was that even though her dad had been gone for 9 years, they still talked about him a lot, and mentioned him, and but it was without the sadness that you have at the beginning, that I'm still experiencing now, of course. It's with fondness, it's with memory, and it just showed me that you will get past the overwhelming sadness and get to a place where you still miss the person, but it's very hard to explain, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Those of you who have lost someone, you know exactly what I'm saying. And it was heartwarming in a way, and like I keep saying, the universe wanted me to read this now, and I think that was the reason why. I had put this book on hold at the library because I think it had like a 4-month wait period on it, on the audiobook. And I literally put it on hold, and the next day I was in the app looking at something, and I saw that it said skip the line. So again, I don't know if your Overdrive or Libby app does this, if your library does this for audiobooks and ebooks, but occasionally they will let you skip the line, and a book will come up, and you can jump ahead of everybody else and read the book. And it just so happened like the next day that I was able to do that. So, for that reason, I gave this book a 5-star. And also the way that they talked about the dad, he reminded me in a way very much my own dad. There's a scene towards the end of the book where Fixie and her brother Jake are talking about the store, and how over the course of the novel a bunch of things had changed in the store. And they were trying to put things right again, and they were standing outside talking, and she says to her brother, "Oh, Dad would be so proud of us." And her brother goes, "No, he wouldn't. He'd be mad because the stockroom's a mess, and he'd wonder where the licorice all sorts were." And I started laughing because my dad's favorite thing every year for Christmas, we used to always get him licorice all sorts. He loved them. Him and my aunt are the only two in the family who love them. My aunt, of course, is still around, so, you know. But the two of them, black licorice, just no appeal to me at all. But I was telling my mom about that in the book because they mentioned the fact that the store, of course, had originally belonged to the father. And he stocked licorice all sorts in the store, as in like the confectionery area, just because he loved them. That was the only reason. And they kept them even all the years after he had passed away because he put them there. And, you know, I was telling Mom about that, and her and I were laughing about the fact that Dad loved those things, you know? So it was little things like that. And I will admit, at the very end, there was a scene where the family decides maybe it's finally time to sit in the dad's chair at the kitchen table. And it made me cry, to be honest. You know, it was a really, really enjoyable book. I'm not saying that if you guys read it, you would also give it a 5-star rating. But I just absolutely loved it. There is a little bit of adult content, but nothing very graphic. So do keep that in mind. It's a longer book too. I think it was it was almost 12 hours long on audio. And so it was, I think, over 450 pages in the ebook or print book. So, but a really, really good story. And it wasn't, even though there is a romance in there between Fixie and Seb, it was more of a, I want to say, chick lit women's fiction novel. Because unlike Shopaholic, which I read many, many years ago, Shopaholic I actually found laugh out loud funny. Now that was, again, how many years ago would that have been? Like 18? No, was it really? I read it when I was 26. And, excuse me, I'm almost 41, so you go ahead and do the math. I thought it was hilarious. There were a bunch of scenes in this book that made me laugh out loud. But nothing, I didn't find it nearly as funny as I remember finding Shopaholic. It was much more poignant, a lot of character growth. Although I have to admit, Fixie annoyed me quite a bit at the beginning because there's another character that she's kind of infatuated with, this guy, and you can blatantly see that he is a world-class a-hole, and, you know, you're like, how can you not see it? So it annoyed me just a little bit, but, you know, a lot of growth with her character and stuff like that, and yeah, it was really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. Regardless, you know, even at a 4-star, I think you guys would really like it, but again, this was definitely a 5-star read for me. The other book that I finished just now, a few minutes ago, was I Found You by Lisa Jewell. This one I ended up giving 4.5 stars to. I really enjoyed it. It was creepy at the end. Again, I don't want to talk what this is about too much because it is a thriller and I really think you need to go into these blind. It's about a couple different men who go missing and who is who and what is happening, and it goes back and forth in time from modern day to 1993. Of course, takes place in the UK. And yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Like I said, super creepy at the end. I'm super glad that Garrett was home tonight when I was finishing this up, because it was one of those where you feel like someone's looking over your shoulder. Do you know what I mean? Like that back of your neck tingly creepy feeling at some of the last scenes in here, but it was really, really good. Highly enjoyable. Lisa Jewell is quickly becoming a favorite author of mine. I think I read, 3 or 4 of her books last year, starting in January, with a review copy that I had. And then I went on to read 2 more of her books, and this is my first one for 2020. There will be more because she has quite the backlist, and I'm very, very much looking forward to getting 2 more of them. So, other than that, the only other reading I've gotten to, I finished 2 books. I think that's pretty good. I did read another chapter in Secret Child Royal Scandal or something like that. I can't remember the title of it, by Cat Shield. The picture will be up here. I am, like I said, going to bed, but I am going to read a chapter or 2 of the Sweet Valley High book just before I fall asleep. But the other thing that I did start when I got home from work, before I picked this up to finish off, because I had like 50 pages left of it when I got home, was a book I had picked up. I had pre-ordered it about 2 weeks ago. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it, and I keep forgetting about it, and I do apologize. The book is called Australia. For those of you who are on Bookstagram, you might have seen this going around. The cover of it will be up here. It is by various authors. It is over 30 stories. 30 novellas are in this volume. and some big name authors. The first one is by Skye Warren. The second story is by Penny Reed, the one who is writing or wrote the Winston Brothers series, which I really enjoyed the first few that I've read so far, and a bunch of other well-known authors. I could not possibly list them all. I will leave link to all the books I talk about in this video in the description box below, so to the Goodreads page, so you can go ahead and jump over and have a look to see who's all included in this. This book was less than $10 on Amazon Canada. I don't know how much it is in the US or anywhere else in the world. Now, the thing about this is, this book, half of the money goes towards helping wildlife, and the other half is for firefighters battling the bushfires currently going on in Australia. So it is for a worthy cause, you guys. So, you know, absolutely, I'm super excited to pick this one up. And my goal is, it's like I said, it's over 30 stories. I didn't count exactly how many. It might be 31 or 32. My goal is to read a story a day, as if I can. Tonight, maybe not so much. I did start it, but I don't know if I'll finish it today because I am really tired. But my goal is to try and finish at least one a day, and until I finish the entire book. It says the ebook version is 850 pages or something like that. So yeah, I had to go ahead and pre-order it. A, it's for a worthy cause, and B, you're getting all these novellas by authors, and I don't know if all of the novellas are first time in publication. Some of them might be backlist novellas that the authors had written. I don't know, but you know, check that out maybe on the website or like on Amazon or on Goodreads. But I'm still super excited about getting into them. I don't think I've read any of them. So yeah, so I just wanted to mention that as well. And I have started that. Again, it's not one I'm going to talk about all the time. If I run across a story that I really enjoy, I'll mention it to you guys. But, you know, maybe a couple times a week, I'll just let you know how far through the book I am. It's going to take me over a month. I won't finish this one until probably after my birthday in early March. But yeah, it's for a worthy cause, and if you like romance. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, this one is going to be spicy. I can't say that every story will be, but already the first story, I'm like 4 pages into it, and already we've had a very spicy scene. So this one is going to be a lot higher on the adult content meter. But again, I can't say that every story is going to be like that. So, you know, what is that saying? Drive with caution. Viewer discretion is advised. Maybe that works a little bit better. But yeah, so anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today. I'm going to take my meds. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to read some trashy Sweet Valley High, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. It is the 4th. Is it the 4th today? The 5th of February. It's about 8:30 at night, and I thought I'd just pop on real quick with an update. Yeah, so Wednesday, another day at work. I'm still learning. You know, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot to take in, and it's not a learning curve in the fact that it is difficult, but there are a lot of little things to remember. Each company is very different, of course, and, you know, with this company, I find people wear a lot of different hats. You know, I'm not just customer service / order desk. You know, there's other things that I'd be doing as well. Whereas I'm used to working for much larger corporations that, you know, one person does this and one person does that. So, you know, in reality, I think once I get used to it, I'm going to like it, because it'll make the day a bit more interesting, where, you know, these are all the different things that I need to do that day. Whereas it's not just that thing that I have to do, if that makes sense. So yeah, you know, it's the first few days. It takes, there's some growing pains. There's some, you know, getting used to new people, being the new kid, you know, at the old place. I mean, I knew pretty much everybody, and I knew who I, you know, got along with, and, you know, I do miss some of my old coworkers, but I don't miss the stress, which is the one thing I don't have right now, which is, it's super fantastic. So anyway, on to a reading update for today. So I did start 2 new books today, because why not? I finished 2 yesterday, and you guys know I always have more than one book on the go at a time. So I started listening to this morning The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. And this one I'm enjoying it so far. It is a ghost story. I don't know if I'd actually call it a thriller. I don't know. I don't read enough of the genre to be able to properly identify, where it falls in a spectrum. But to me, a thriller is something that has like a no, I'm using contemporary in the fact that it's something that would take place right now, or a thriller could be a historical thriller, but something that is grounded in real world events. Whereas with The Broken Girls, I feel this is more of a thriller, a paranormal thriller, like a ghost story kind of an idea. It's really billed, I think, as a ghost story, and I can absolutely see that. It's creepy. It's not one that I would want to read home by myself. I am listening to it in the car, of course, on the way to and from work. So, at least, I could also not see myself if it was dark out to be able to listen to it in the car. Like if I was by myself in the car listening to it in the dark would be a little bit creepy. But it's a dual timeline perspective. It takes place in Vermont at a girls' boarding school in the 1950s, and then to 2014 in the same town, with the school now being renovated. And, this doesn't give away too much because I think it's said on the back of the book, but the body of a girl is discovered, and it's like it's been there for a while. Not a body at that point. I think it's remains it's considered to be. So, yeah, on audio, it's quite good. I'm really liking the narration of it. And yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one, and I'm glad that I picked it up. It's not my norm, and I was just like, I think I said it the other day, I haven't picked up a good contemporary in a while. So I'm kind of after all these thrillers and romantic suspenses. I'm gonna need a good contemporary. Like, yes, I am reading the Harlequin Desire novel, but I am super looking forward to picking up a contemporary when I'm done these. But the other book that I started today on ebook is The Third to Die by Alison Brennan. This is the first book in the Mobile Response Team Unit series. I didn't realize at the time that it was going to be a series, like a part of a series. And essentially this one, I'm only about 40 pages into it, and it's about a serial killer who murders 3 victims over 3 days on March the 3rd, the 6th, and the 9th, every 3 years. So he's done this twice already. He's had 2 cycles, if you will, already. And this is now his 3rd, and he's killed his first victim. So now that they kind of know his profile, they're trying to catch him before he gets to his 2nd and 3rd victims for this year. And I believe it's going to be a romantic suspense because I think there's probably going to be a relationship between 2 of the investigators. One is an LAPD detective named Detective Quinn. She is up from Los Angeles on vacation, and she's the one who finds the first victim's body, like for this time. And then the agent in charge of this mobile response team unit, which is part of the FBI, and it's kind of like to help those towns and cities that don't have a federal, like an FBI, like, I don't know, what would you call it, like branch, I guess, in them, and to kind of like be mobile and be able to travel somewhere and, investigate a crime that would be under FBI jurisdiction. So yeah, so far not bad. It's a little graphic. They're discussing what happened to this poor woman who died, and it's kind of like, ooh, that's unpleasant. But yeah, so I'm for some reason I'm thinking I've read this author before, but maybe I haven't. But I do enjoy a really good romantic suspense, and I think this one's going to be fantastic. This one just came out too. It came out yesterday, actually, on the 4th of February. So if you think that would be your jam, definitely go and check it out. I hope to have it done by the end of the week. So what else do I have to talk about reading-wise? I'm still reading The Sweet Valley High. I'm still reading the Desire novel. I've only gotten a couple more chapters in on both of those, so I'm not going to bother talking about them here. But, excuse me, the one thing I have decided that I do want to mention is, when I can, is talk about the Australia book, the big anthology that I talked about yesterday. And I finished 2 of the stories already. I finished 1 last night and then 1 more today. My goal is to do a short story or a novella, like one of the stories in this anthology every day. I may be able to do it, I may not, but when I finish one, I will just briefly mention it for you guys. And if you are ever interested, I'm going to do my best to leave links in the description box below to all the books that I talk about in these videos to the Goodreads page, so you can go ahead and check them out for yourself. And for this one, because it's an anthology, every time I finish a story, I'm going to name the story and the author and give you my star rating. Then at the end, when I'm done the whole thing, I think there's 37 stories in this book, I'm going to average them all out, and then give a final rating on the book itself. So the first story was by Skye Warren, and what was it called? It was called The Last Song, I think. I only gave it 2 stars, you guys. It was a disappointment. I think I mentioned yesterday, because I just started, it kind of jumps right into the adult content, which generally doesn't bother me, but this story is the reason why I have a lot of issues with these type of anthologies. This one clearly was a story that is coming from a series that this author has already done. If you are going to be part of a big anthology, you should do a standalone story. That's just my opinion. You know, there's 37 stories in this book. You cannot expect the reader to have read the previous work for however many stories in here that are part of a series. That's not fair to the reader who's picking it up and wants to read the whole thing and wants to try your work. You know, like, I've never read this author before, and I was super stoked, and that's part of the reason I'm super excited about this anthology, is being able to try authors that I have never read before. And I was just disappointed. It just seemed to focus so much on the physical relationship between the two of them. They are a married couple. And then even at the end of the story, it says, you know, if you want to read more from this, about these 2 characters, read this book called Overture or something like that. And I'm like, well, what was that? You know, like, was it like an epilogue? You know, am I now ruined for reading that book? You know, and that's what I'm saying. It frustrates me as a reader when authors do this. Like, you know, if a bunch of authors are getting together, and I think that this is for a fantastic reason, that all the money raised goes towards the helping aid in the Australian bushfires. But, you know, if a bunch of authors are getting, and they're emailing each other going, hey, do you want to do this big anthology? Yes, that sounds fantastic. If I was one of the authors, I'd be like, yay! Okay, I gotta tell something, a story, and this story is set in Sydney, so all of them have something to do with Australia in some way, shape, or form, I'm assuming. You know, I would run with that. As you know, if I was an author, I'd be like, okay, what's a fun story I've had in the back of my head for a while that I want to tell? A good standalone, you know what I mean? And yeah, so it was a very big disappointment for me. The other one that I finished today, I really enjoyed, and it was called, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was by Penny Reid, who I absolutely adore. She has written the Winston Brothers series. This was a standalone. This is, you know, not part of any series that I'm aware of. You know, I cannot say that about everyone, that, this wasn't part of a series, because it doesn't say it is. You know, it might not say it is, but, you know, you kind of know from reading the story. Like the first one, I kind of knew, even before I got to the end of it, that I was supposed to know these characters for some reason. Whereas this one was truly a standalone. I love Penny Reid's writing. It's so conversational. Her characters really do come to life, and this one was really cute. It's about a woman on a retreat, like a work retreat, like one of those like team building kind of retreat things. And she's kind of had a thing for this coworker of hers, who's the CFO of the company, the chief financial officer. And he's been very standoffish, and he just kind of has a way about him. And then they meet at a bar, and, you know, they get talking, and there's a few kisses and things like that. And it was delightful. I ended up giving that story 4 stars. I thought it was super duper adorable. Again, in the list that I'm going to give as I finish each story, I will update my review so you can see what I give the rating I give each story. But beside them, I will put if it's clean. And this one was clean. Other than those, you know, very spicy kisses, it was a clean story. There was no, like, graphic adult content in it. So yeah, that I will mark that for those of you who might be interested. You know, if you have the anthology yourself and you're not sure, you know, adult content might make you, you know, uncomfortable, which is fine. You can jump around to the clean stories if you so desire. So, but again, I highly encourage you to get this anthology, because it is for a great cause, for sure. So yeah, anyway, I have rambled on enough for today. I do want to do some more reading before I head to bed. I got some good sleep last night, which is great. I'm hoping to get some more good sleep tonight. And yeah, so anyway, that's it for me, you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, it is Thursday, the 6th of February. It's about 8:30ish at night maybe, and I'm just coming to you with a quick update for tonight. I really don't have a lot to share with you guys because I haven't done a lot of reading today. couple reasons for that. So I had a rough night tonight. I don't know what it was or what well, I kind of know what the trigger was, but on my way home, I gave my mom a call like I usually do, and I was telling her how I got lost. Where I'm working now, I know where it is, but I keep trying these different routes to see which would be the easiest and which one seems to be the best. And we had a snowfall last night. I mean, enough to make it a big mess, and it was continuing on through the rush hour this morning. So I ended up taking this one route, and it kind of took me the wrong way, or I thought it was going the right way. I wasn't using GPS or anything like that. I was using my brain, and clearly it wasn't working. And I ended up kind of going through this back area, these back roads area. Yeah, I do live in the city, but I am like borderline for literally where our exit is off the highway to get to our apartment is the sign saying welcome to the city of Toronto. So we are as far east as you can possibly get and still be considered Toronto. So there is a lot of green space because we are not far from the Toronto Zoo. And so up in that area is where I was, and I ended up turning right instead of left. And that road hadn't been plowed yet, and it's like a road that goes like this, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I finally got turned around. So anyway, I was calling my mom to tell her about that, and we got talking, and she said that one of Dad's friends had called her this afternoon because he's checking in to see how she's doing and stuff like that, which is super, super sweet. I mean, these guys have known my dad probably longer than I've been alive. They all used to play baseball together and stuff, or softball. So she was telling me how he had said how much he was missing him, and I was sitting in the car at that point in Walmart, and I started to cry, and I just thought to myself, you know, it really brings it into perspective, even more so when you realize it's not just family that misses him, it's his friends too. And so I kind of was okay, and I went into Walmart, and I got the few things I needed to get, and I got home, and I got in the shower, and I just started sobbing, and I couldn't stop. Just standing there, just crying. I miss him so much, and I think, I mean, it's been a little over 3 weeks, and it hits a lot more now because, like I said to Mom, he's not, you know, it's not, you know, we know he's gone. We're not ignorant to that fact, but this little part of your brain knows he's not just off on vacation, but that he's not coming back, and sorry, and that I'm not going to see him again or get to talk to him again. And I think about him every day, so many times a day. It's little random things, like I was saying this morning, how we had the snow. I got turned around on my way to work, and when I realized I didn't know where I knew where I was, but I didn't know how to get to where I needed to be, and there was a lot of snow and traffic and stuff like that, and my first initial thought was, oh, I'll give Dad a call, and he can tell me how to get to where I need to go, because he spent like 10 plus years driving a cube van. I think I mentioned it to you guys in another vlog, around the city doing deliveries, so he kind of knew the ins and outs of where to go. So it's little things like that. So it's been a rough night. I've been feeling sad. I've been feeling depressed tonight. I've been doing pretty good. Most days I'm doing pretty good, but I think every now and then stuff starts to hit you and you realize how much you miss the person and stuff. So yeah, but anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to do that there. But anyway, so the other reason I haven't gotten a lot of reading done was, on a much better note, a much more fun, not so sad note, is that at the new company that I'm at, it was the president's birthday today. And I guess tradition is that on his birthday, he orders pizza in, and we all have a pizza lunch. So that was super nice. It was really yummy pizza too. He ordered both, like a vegetarian pizza, because there are a number of people in the office who are vegetarians, and then he ordered like a meat lovers, and it had like all the barnyard animals on it. I had the vegetarian because I'm not a big meat eater. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. I probably have, but I mean, I will eat some meat, like I'll eat a burger, I'll have pizza with pepperoni, but I don't care for steak. Don't think I've ever had steak. I'm a texture person, and even growing up when my mom would make pork chops like once a week for dinner, I couldn't stomach them. I couldn't, the texture of them just, ugh. So there's a lot of meats I don't like. But I did have the vegetarian one, and it had peppers on it, and it had broccoli on it. It was quite yummy. You know, it wouldn't be my go-to for pizza. Garrett and I like good old school greasy Pizza Hut pizza, but this was from a like gourmet pizza place north of where we are. So, and it was nice that we got a free lunch. So that was on his birthday. So that was kind of awesome. So I didn't have my reading time at lunch today. So other than listening to, now into the actual reading. So other than listening to The Broken Girls today, I'm about a little over 50% of the way through it. I'm really enjoying it. I should definitely get it done by Saturday. It's good. It's creepy. You know, I don't want to talk too much about it because it is a thriller of sorts, a thriller / ghost story. And, you know, you can tell that the characters are not necessarily believing what's actually happening. And you as the reader are kind of like, okay, is this a figment of your imagination, you know, or what have you? So yeah, it's good. I'm quite enjoying that one. But I am getting some more read tonight of Third to Die by Alison Brennan, and I'm enjoying that as well. I think I was talking to my aunt earlier, and she suffers from the seasonal affective disorder. She really has a difficult time this time of year to begin with. And being Dad's sister, it's even harder on her, you know, losing her brother. The two of them were super duper close. I mean, my brother and I are not as close as Dad and his sister were. Ridiculously. Like, he's closer with his sister than he is with his one sister than he is with his brother. And him and his brother are like a little over like a year and 8 days apart in age. She misses him a lot too. And I think that's hitting her. So we were talking about that, and I just thought I need something to cheer myself up. So, you know, I'm reading these great books and I'm enjoying them, but I really think I need something light. I really think I need a good contemporary. And Garrett's home tonight because he wasn't feeling well today. But now I'm making him do laundry. So bye. You got a flash of the Garrett. So yeah, so I think I need something nice and light and not dealing with murder and ghosts and things like that. But I am enjoying both these books, like I said. So I will, I'll be finished both of them by probably later on Saturday. And I know my next ebook, and I think I mentioned this, is the Bromance Book Club. And then my next audiobook, I had gotten this book out of the library in a physical copy, but the library also had it on audio. So I'm actually going to go ahead and listen to it on audio, and that's The Matchmaker's List. And I'm super excited about that one. So 2 contemporaries. I think they're going to be really good, and I'm looking forward to that. Something nice and light and cheerful. You know, so yeah. So thank you guys. Like I said, I was keeping this little clip short. Thank you for letting me sit here and cry for a second. I've been kind of needing it, and I think that's what I said to my friends too. You know, the cry that I had earlier, I think I needed that. With everything that's been going on with the changing of my job, and, you know, a lot's been going on, I haven't had a chance to really sit and start, you know, and grieve, because it does take time. It takes a lot of time, and it never goes away. It never stops. So yeah. So anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get some more reading done. I got my trusty old ebook right here. And yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Happy Friday. It is just before 7 o'clock at night, and I actually just finished filming a quick little video that's going to go up on Saturday. So you will have seen that video come up on my channel before this one. It was my announcement video for March Mystery Madness. I'm so super excited to be co-hosting this one again this year with Elizabeth. So that's why I am all decked up with the fancy lipstick on. I thought, when else do I get to wear purple lipstick? It is purple. It looks like a burgundy color, but it is purple. The color, in case anyone is interested, is Troublemaker from Urban Decay. I absolutely love it. It is a favorite of mine. I'm like, I wonder if I could sport this like on an everyday to work, because it's not too out there, right? But yeah, so I thought purple shirt, purple lipstick. It's mystery. It's like a mysterious, I don't know. I've always, well, probably the reason why, I've always associated, as I stretch. Do I have one closer? Nope. Okay, here's one. Sorry. I've always associated purple with mystery, probably because the Harlequin romantic suspense and the Intrigue that I cannot grab down up here both have the purple color. So that's probably why I've always thought like purple, mysterious, you know? But yeah, so anyway, so that was my announcement video that that I just filmed. So I thought since I was already sitting in front of the camera, I would go ahead and do my update for today. So, sorry, I'm just re-angling this. Sorry for the shadows. It's later at night, and of course it's like 7 o'clock, and there's clearly no light outside right now, so I've got that kind of light here. But anyway, so I am a bit in shadow. I wasn't for the video. I had it angled a completely different way. So anyway, Friday. Oh, guys, it's been a long week. I'm tired. You know, in reality, compared to how busy I used to be at my old job, I was not busy at all this week, like not even close. And you know what? I realized how much, you know, I would complain about how busy I was there. We were stupid busy. That was at my old job. It was stupid busy. Whereas here, it's not very busy at all. Now, I haven't really gotten into it yet. You know, I'm not getting the emails that I would normally be getting, and I haven't been kind of thrown into the deep end just yet. I am entering orders and stuff now by myself, which is exciting, but, you know, I haven't really gotten into it yet, and it's probably going to take another month or so for that to actually happen. And when I do, then I think I will be steady busy, which makes me happy. Steady busy, I can handle. Stupid busy, not so much. So yeah, I was happy though it was Friday and came home, and yeah, I just kind of sat down, filmed this video, filming this now, and then I am going to wipe all this off my face, make some dinner, and sit and veg in front of the couch. Oh, and edit the March Mystery Madness video. So, reading update for today. Not a lot. I am probably at this point about 80% of the way through The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. Guys, it's so good. It won't be a 5-star, I can tell you that. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm not loving it, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's really, really interesting. It's taken a lot of twists and turns that I was not expecting, and it is very, very creepy. It is not one that I think that I could read, you know, at home alone or anything at all like that. So now I'm super stoked about reading The Sundown Motel to see if it's going to be just as good. The writing in it is fantastic. The characters are great. You guys know me. One of my catnips in books is a dual timeline. And in this case, it is definitely, sorry, I thought I saw something down the hall. It is totally, because I'm thinking about the book now. Now my mind is going, right? That it jumps back and forth in time, which I absolutely love. A lot of great characters. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I got a bit more read today of The Third to Die by Alison Brennan. This one I feel like I'm slogging through a little bit. Like, it's good, but it's not for right now for me, maybe. And I don't want to DNF it because I am enjoying it. But what I think I'm going to do is, I was talking to Rainy over at Rainy Day Reads. Her and I are going to be starting to buddy read tomorrow, the Bromance Book Club. So I think I'm going to read them in tandem with each other, like read a bit from each every day. And then it might lessen the gruesomeness in a way of Third to Die. You know, like The Broken Girls is scary, but it's not gruesome in a way because the murder that happened long ago. Whereas the murders in this book are happening now, kind of. Does that make sense? You know, it's not historical as much as it is, you know, real life kind of an idea. So, yeah, I just think I need something a bit lighter. So, like I said, I'll be reading the two of them in tandem. You know, I'll read a little bit from each of them each day and make my way through both of them within the next few days is my goal. I think we're reading the Bromance Book Club over 5 days, so that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I read another little bit of the Australia book when I got home. I just kind of sat and read a little bit of that book when I got home, just to kind of relax and you know, turn off the brain from work. This story that I'm reading now, I think it's by Kenny Ryan. It's like 4 chapters. So I read the first chapter. I might read the second one tonight before bed. We shall see. But I noticed looking through the book, like looking through the table of contents on my Kindle, that a lot of these short stories have chapters. So some of them are going to be a bit longer than, you know, the average novella within this book. So those stories might even be broken up over a few days. My original goal was to read one of these stories every day. I don't know if that's going to be the case. So this might even go to the end of March before I finish it, which is perfectly okay. I'm in no rush. I just want to read and enjoy. And yeah, so that's about all that I've gotten done today, you guys. Tomorrow's, of course, Saturday. I am going out with my mom in the morning. We're going to bingo. And then with her sister, too. So I'm going with my aunt, which will be a lot of fun. And then I plan on coming back in the afternoon, and I want to film a couple videos for next week because I did not get any videos up for you guys this week, and I feel super bad about that. I need to get up my January wrap up. I definitely want to share that with you guys. And can't remember what other video is going to go up next week, but I'll definitely check it out and see. But yeah, super looking forward to that. And like, you know, you guys are going to get the extra Saturday video that will have gone up when you guys were watching this yesterday. So anyway, that is all that I have for today, you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hi everybody, happy Saturday. It is February the 8th and it's about 7 o'clock at night. I just finished eating dinner. I had Pizza Hut in case anyone is curious. I just got Hi everybody, happy Saturday. It is the 8th of February and it's about 7 o'clock at night. Coming to you with my last clip for this vlog. So it was a quiet-ish day today, not really. I went to bingo with my mom and my aunt this morning. I think I mentioned that yesterday, that that's what I was going to be doing today. We won. I won. Yay me. And then I had jokingly said to my mom yesterday when we were talking about going today, I said, so if we win, we'll go back in the afternoon. So I said to her, I said, are we going back this afternoon? And she actually said no, because my niece was coming to stay with her tonight. My niece likes having sleepovers at Nan's house. So, you know, I think that that's awesome. And it really makes Mom happy because I really do think that she's lonely. I mean, you know, not only missing Dad, but just having another person there, you know. They were together for 44 years. You live with someone for that long. It's hard to suddenly be by yourself, you know. And, you know, I worry about her being at home by herself, but she seems okay. And she really likes having Katie come and stay with her. This is the second weekend in a row that my niece has gone to stay overnight at Nana's house. So I think that's pretty awesome. It's kind of a nice little tradition and that they're starting. And it's nice for my niece too, because Katie will be 10 at the end of this month. And my nephew, her brother, is 3. He'll be 3. In the summertime. So there's quite the age gap between the two kids. And, you know, as an older sibling, I can kind of see how, you know, little brother getting into your things, it kind of gives Katie a break and Mommy and Daddy a break, and, you know, so kind of a win-win for everybody. But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. So we went to bingo, and then I took Garrett to work. I actually drove him all the way to work, not just to the subway station, because I thought, well, why not? You know, I'll be nice. It's a Saturday. And I hate driving the 401 across the city because literally I have to go from one end of the city to the other. And I hate it because the traffic in the West End is ridiculous. The highway traffic is ridiculous. And we noticed the other way going back, the traffic was really bad. There was like accident after accident. And I said to Garrett, I am not taking the highway back. So I ended up taking a a route that took me about twice as long. It was a little over an hour drive, but it kept me completely off the highway, and I kind of went through downtown Toronto. And I wish it wasn't as cold today as it was, because today with the wind chill was minus 25 degrees Celsius, or as we like to say, really cold. Because I passed a number of parks that kind of like are on Lake Ontario, like right at in downtown Toronto. There's these parks that you can just go and park at. And there's like walking trails, and some of them have like playground equipment for the kids in the summertime and stuff like that. And I thought about it because I passed, I think I passed like 3 or 4 like places I could have pulled into and parked the car and gone and walked down to the lake. But it was just so gosh darn cold, you guys. Because I thought, oh, what a great clip that would make just to show you guys the beauty of Lake Ontario, especially in the wintertime. you know, with all the trees and the snow on the ground and stuff like that, but it was just too cold, especially with the wind coming off the lake and stuff like that. I just said, no, I couldn't do it. So if I do it again in a few weeks and I drive him to work and I'll take the same route back, I will, as long as it's a little bit warmer. I don't care if there's snow on the ground. I just want it to be a bit warmer. And I'll try and get some video for you guys of Lake Ontario. And I'll definitely do it in the summertime. There's a lot of walking trails around me, but just the ones right downtown, because I can turn the camera around and, you know, you can see the Toronto skyline. And oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I realized that driving downtown today, like how much I love my city, because it really, really is beautiful. Especially in the freezing cold. Everything just looks crisper. So yeah, so that was my day, and then I came home and I've just been pretty much hanging out here. So I have some book stuff to share with you guys. I finished a book today, and I DNF'd a book today, you guys. I decided to DNF a book. So I will start off with the book that I finished today, and that was The Broken Girls by Simone St. James, who, by the way, is Canadian. On my spreadsheet tracker, the one thing that has been on the spreadsheet, the Let's Read spreadsheet that Brock does every year, I've been doing it for like 4 years now. The one column that I've never filled out, and I don't know why, I just always kind of like hit it and just didn't bother, was country. And I know you can put that as whatever you want for country. It can be like, you know, the country that the book takes place in or what have you. But I go by the author, where the author was born, or where they, if we don't know where they were born, then where they currently reside or what have you. And I've been filling that out this year, and it's kind of interesting to see the different places, to see how many different locations I can get on my spreadsheet. So Simone St. James is from Canada. I don't know if it's Toronto specific, but she's from Canada, so we can claim her as Canadian, which is pretty super awesome. I did not know that, so that's fun. So anyway, I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was extremely engaging. It was great on audio. Oh my gosh, the audio of it was fantastic. Sorry, I don't know if I have the narrator handy. Bear with me just a half a second here, you guys. Sorry. I should have written this down ahead of time. I do apologize. Do I have it on here? I do. Okay, so I'm just going to keep talking while I look up the narrator. So anyway, I've talked about this book all throughout the week. It is a dual timeline thriller / ghost story. There were parts of it that were a little creepy, but there was a great, like, a mystery, but not really. Like, now that I'm stopping to think about it, there's no big mystery, there's no big twist like that is typically in a thriller. It's just a really well told story about a woman trying to find out the truth about what happened to her sister 20 years ago, and then what happened to this other poor girl 60-ish years ago. You know, like, it was just a great story. I don't know how else to describe it other than that, and I really enjoyed it. And I absolutely recommend that you guys go and check it out if you're into that kind of thing. It would be a great book in a way for March Mystery Madness, because there is a hint of a mystery in there. I'm not saying you're not trying to find out who killed the girl 60 years ago, but it just, the way everything falls into place and things like that, it was absolutely fantastic. And of course, dual timeline, that is my that's my catnip. So bear with The Broken Girls. I'm just looking this up on Audible, just so I can get the narrator for you guys. Here it is. Okay, so the narrator for this was, my tablet is slow, Rebecca Lohman. She did a really great job. So I really enjoyed that quite a bit. So then I DNF'd a book today. I finally decided 184 pages in to DNF The Third to Die by Alison Brennan. I just was not enjoying it. I was slogging through it. I realized that I had been reading it for like 4 or 5 days, and I was like only 184 pages into it. That, for me, that is slow. This book should have read a lot faster. I found that it was a little too gruesome for me. Now, I've read books that get gruesome. CSI is one of my favorite TV shows, but I just think it's literally a case of it's not you, it's me. There's nothing wrong with the book. It just wasn't the right book for me right now. I may one day, like I have filed it on DNF on Goodreads, and I may one day go back and look at that list, that DNF list, and think, okay, I want to retry that book. You know, and maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know. I just know that it was very gruesome and it was very long. I found that it was like, it's just shy of 500 pages, you guys. Like, it was not a quick read. You know, there was a lot that I feel that maybe could have been cut out of it. But yeah, but it was still, excuse me, it was interesting. But it just wasn't for me. And so, yeah, I DNF'd it. I'm not, you know, my big thing used to be that I feel like I wasted my time, but I didn't, you know, like I got a little bit of reading in it. I'm counting the pages for this month, but it just wasn't for me, and I just had no more interest in trying to get through it. So I do have another book that I'm going to be starting tonight. I have to go actually pick up Garrett from the subway in about 20 minutes because he had VTO is what they call it, voluntary time off. It's not really voluntary when they're forcing you out the door. There's not enough work. So everybody who is currently not in the union, of which Garrett is one of those people because he's only been working there for a month. You don't get into the union until you're in for 3 months. So everyone who's not in the union was being sent home. So the people who are in the union, of course, they're permanent workers or they're, you know, they're off of probation kind of an idea, can get the hours, which, I mean, is fair. I understand the reasoning, right? So he's on the subway now on his way home, but it's about an hour drive or an hour subway ride. So I will be leaving in about 20 minutes to go and pick him up. So he'll be home probably around 8-ish. So that'll be kind of nice, that I won't have to stay up as late to go pick him up. But it is Saturday night, so I kind of don't want to go to bed at like 9:30. But yeah, so where was I going with that? Reading. I was talking about reading. I plan to start tonight. I know Rainey already started it today, but I plan on actually starting the Bromance Book Club I'm so bad at this, you guys. I feel so bad that I cannot. I have a block with this author's name. I don't know why. The cover is so stand out to me. Like, it's, you know what I mean? But for some reason, my brain is just totally blocking the author's name. Oh, let me see here. It is by, oh gosh, her name even on the book covers is small. Sorry guys. Lyssa K. Adams. I think it's Lyssa. Lyssa. I want to say that's how you pronounce her name, but that's the author. So I will be starting that tonight. Now I know Rainey and I talked about reading it over 5 days, but I think that she's like flying through it. She's like on chapter 7. She already messaged me. And I think I'm probably going to get it done in about 3 days. So, you know, in order to finish all my books that I have on my list before the end of the month, I figure out how many pages I need to read per day so I can finish this one in about 3 days. So that's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, that is all that I have for reading today, you guys. Not terribly exciting. I haven't really read anything else. I listened to the first 10 minutes or so of The Matchmaker's List by... Really? I am having all the problems with authors' names today. I know the book titles. Like I said, I'm about 10 minutes into it. Let me go to loans because this one's from the library. Come on. There it is. The Matchmaker's List by... Really? Sonia Lay or Lally? Maybe Lally? Lally. Of course, the cover will be up here. You guys can see this one. And fun fact, also when I was filling out the spreadsheet, because I fill it out when I start a book and then I label the book as currently reading. And then when I finish the book, I can just mark it as read and give my star rating and then the sheet's filled out. I like filling it out ahead of time. But this author is also Canadian, but I believe she's from out west. I think it said that she was born in Saskatchewan or something like that. So totally interesting. Another Canadian author. Fun times. But yeah, so I'm only about 10 minutes into this one. I will report more on this one, of course, in my next vlog, because this is the last clip of today. So, speaking about, where did I put it? Over here. Speaking about, sorry, I glanced over at Bernard. He's sleeping on Garrett's side of the couch, and we have catnip, so I sprinkled some catnip on the carpet, and he rolls in it. So his back is covered in catnip currently. So, I haven't done this in a while because The Broken Girls is the first book that I finished in February that was actually on my TBR that included this. So for those of you who might be new to my channel, you might be seeing this for the first time. In here, I have a mini skein of yarn, a little skein of yarn, enough to put a square in my sock yarn blanket of insanity, as I call it, because my sock yarn blanket is going to eventually need 1,600 squares. I'm just shy of 400 now in the blanket. But one of my goals this year was to put more squares into the blanket because I tend to neglect it until December every year, and then in December, like, I add one a day. I'm never going to get the blanket done adding 25 squares a year. So I've decided that for this year, for all my TBR books, I put a little skein in a little envelope, and I just tape it up and write the title of the book on it. So when I finish the book, I can open it, and then I add that square to my blanket. So essentially my goal is to add a square for every book on my TBR that I read over the course of 2020. So I thought I like opening these on camera for you guys. So let's open it up and see what we have. Ooh, okay, I have a pair of socks in this. So this is a yarn that I have used. I think it was called 60s Kitchen was the colorway name. I cannot remember who the yarn dyer is, but I have a pair of socks in this colorway, and they are awesome. If I remember, maybe in my next vlog, when I show the blanket, because I did add 4 squares, and I have not shown you guys the blanket in a few weeks. I'll show it to you next week. I will find, I'll hunt these socks out of my drawer, and I'll show you the finished socks as well, just so you can kind of see. But yeah, so that will be going into the blanket tomorrow morning. So let me show you guys my knitting. So I like to end with my knitting because there are some people who don't care about seeing this, and that's fine. If you don't want to watch this, thank you so much for watching the vlog, and I will see you guys in my next video. For the rest of you, let me show you the pretties. So I have not got a ton done this week, you know, with the new job and all that stuff, but I did finish a sock. I'm so close to finishing anyway. It's kind of a given. So that's where I was with my little Dorothy stitch marker. Let me focus that right there on her. My Dorothy stitch marker. It's pretty awesome. Sorry, let me fix the camera. So, and then I just added the ribbing at the top. So the ribbing is the same color as the heel. So that way I would know to have, but the stripe sequence is not broken at all because I did the different color heel, and I really, really love that. I have extra ends to weave in now on the inside, but that's okay because I really, really like the way this turned out. And this is a nice thick yarn, so these socks are going to be super duper warm. They might even make great house socks. So I did start the second sock. And here it is. Not a lot done on it. I'm done the toe, and I'm into the 4th stripe. So these should, in theory, match. Just kind of seeing here. Ooh. They might almost perfectly match. Wow. Okay, that was unintentional. I had no idea I was going to get that close. That is awesome. Oh, that makes me happy. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that cool? So yeah, so I've got the toe star on the second sock, and I will continue to work on this one throughout the week. So yeah, so there's my socks. I always have a pair of socks on the go. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that. They are my favorite thing in the morning. I get up about 5:15. Yep, I get up that early in the morning. I start work at 8. But I shower at night, and I pack my lunch at night. Excuse me. So I don't have a lot of running around to do in the morning because I like to slowly wake up. So I get up and I make a cup of coffee. It's the only coffee I have every day. And I sit and I listen to an audiobook and I knit for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And that's my time. And then I start getting ready to head off to work. So yeah. So the other thing that got some love this week was my sweater. Again, not as much as I wanted to get done, but that's okay. So I'm working on the front panel. This sweater is the Dottie cardigan by a designer whose name shall be Stephanie Jessica Lau. All these will be linked in the description box below. And this sweater's knit in pieces, so I've already knit the back panel, so now I'm just working on the front panels. So this is one of them, and that's where I was last week, so that's how much I've gotten done. Not a lot, but I didn't really pick this one up a lot this week. I've been pretty tired this week, you guys, and I couldn't, until today, I could not figure out why. So, I mean, like, to the point where I was getting like 7-8 hours of sleep at night, and I would get to work by 10 in the morning. I could have literally crawled under my desk and fell asleep. That exhausted, like forcing my eyes to stay open, exhausted. And I couldn't figure out why. And I started to think, okay, maybe it's they've upped the dose of my one medication, so maybe it's that, but I don't see how it's a very small dose to begin with. Sorry, I got Starbucks earlier. So I don't understand why it would have that much of an effect on me, because it's a very small dose, and you know, it didn't really affect me before. So I was tidying something up in my room, in the bedroom yesterday, and I noticed underneath my side table an empty bottle of medication. I had finished the medication, and I guess it had fallen off my night table and fallen on the ground, and I completely forgot about it. Because, I know this is horrible, I take so many meds that literally I need them in front of my face to remember what I need to take. I do have an app, and I stopped using it for a while because I don't remember why. I think there was an update or something like that, but I've got to start reusing the app again because it would remind me. You could set it for reminders for whatever time and exactly what meds you were taking, and so you would remember. So I have not taken my thyroid medication in like 3 weeks. And I have a underactive thyroid, so it makes me sleepy. It makes me, you know, it's that one. It's, you know, not the, I don't know the exact term, but I'm sure some of you do. But yeah, so I haven't taken that in like 3 weeks, and my prescription was like empty. So I called in a prescription yesterday when I realized my mistake, and then I took my first ones this morning. So they do say it takes anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, because it's like a long absorbing medication. Like, it takes a while to get into your bloodstream, but that means it also takes a while to get out of your bloodstream. So I was okay for those first 2 weeks or so, but now that it's kind of coming out of my out of my system, now I'm starting to feel the effects, right? So now I've got to build that back up again. And my endocrinologist would be shaking her finger at me. But I keep it on my bedside table because you have to take it half an hour to an hour before you eat. So I wake up, and if I wake up, like, my alarm goes off at 5:15, right? But there are times where I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and let's be honest, we go use the bathroom, right? I have a cup of water at the bedside table, and I'm drinking water anytime I wake up, especially in the wintertime when we've got the heat on because it's so dry. So anyway, if I wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I will take the pills then. That's what I would do, because I would see them on my bedside table. They would sit right beside my phone. I must have put my phone down, and they probably, I'm so angry at myself. So, long story short, I've been really tired at night. Hence the reason. We're circling back around to the knitting, people, I promise. Why I haven't gotten a lot of knitting done. I'm like, wait, this all interconnects somehow. I know you guys have probably seen that great meme, how other people tell a story, and it's like start of the story, end of the story, and it's like how I tell a story, it's like, nope, yeah. Freaking love that, because that is so me. If you guys have ever seen, if you guys like stand-up comedy, you need to watch a guy by the name of Danny Boy. B-O-I, I think is his last name. He's Scottish, but his parents are Indian, I think, and they moved to Scotland. So he's Scottish born, but his ancestry is from India, and he is delightful and cute as a button, by the way, too. Absolutely adorable. But he will start doing a story, like a comedy routine, and he'll like start here and like 20 minutes later circle back to it again and be like, what were we talking about? If you have not seen him, he does have a little bit of adult content, do keep that in mind, but he's not as bad as some comedians that I've seen. But definitely check him out. Search YouTube. Hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. And whenever I see that meme about somebody else telling a story and me telling a story, blah, 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 I always think of him, because that's exactly what he does, and it's priceless. But anyway, back to the knitting. The last thing I've been working on is my shawl. I really wanted to get the second color in this week, but that didn't happen, but that's okay. The rows are getting longer, so it's taking more time to do a row. So there's a row right now. And there's where I was last time I showed you guys with my Sophia stitch marker. Come on, focus on her. There she is. So yeah, so that's about all I've gotten done. But I have to finish this row, one more of the lace panel, one more of the lace row, and then I start adding in the next color. So that will be super exciting. So that will definitely be next week. So anyway, guys, that is all. This was the longest clip of the video. No surprise. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog. And any questions, comments, or anything like that, please do leave them in the description, in the comment section below. I'm trying to get better now at getting back into replying to you guys, and I'm sorry if I haven't gotten back to you. Just ask again or make the comment again in this video, and I will get back to you. And yeah, I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Until then, take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.